So he ordered even the ground, the dust, to complete the road. And when the people of Tyre saw that, they know their end has come. Alexander conquered them. And if you look at the map right now, it's called as a peninsula. What is a peninsula? A body of land surrounded by what? Halfway. Like a peninsula there. Do you live in the peninsula? If you're in Palo Alto, you live in Peninsula or Daly City. Here is East Bay. The peninsula, because that place, the island, is now part of the mainland. You can drive now all the way there. And thanks to Alexander the Great, who first built a road to conquer that sea. What? Even the timber and the dust, God says, I will make the city of Tyre flat. Alexander did that. To the exact detail. 300 some years before Alexander was born. And so young people, they go to school and say, oh, you believe in that book? That's just fancy stories. Can you prove that Hiram prophecy? That it is not true? Oh, that's it. See, if you read that, many of our young people, they don't know that. So they go, oh, maybe the Bible is not true. Oh, but they don't know. You can Google it, and that's what exactly will happen. It happened detail by detail, exactly the way God says it will be, the prophecy. You see, they say, why would God punish Tyre because of that? Because of pride, because of their riches, because you see how wealthy the Tyre people is. It says that one of their biggest trade or merchandise is what we call the Tyre purple clothing. The Tyre purple clothing. Purple is clothing for royalty. It is so expensive that very few can afford it. Because to produce this purple dye, you need 12,000 shellfish to produce a dye for a single garment. Wow! That purple garment is so expensive, very rare, and it's so hard to produce. And they dominated the trade throughout the whole Mediterranean religion. Oh, but look at their religion. They practice a Canaanite religion that God condemned. You know what is involved in their religion? Huh? They practice sacrifice of babies to their God. Human sacrifice. They practice ritualized prostitution, sex worship, infant sacrifice. And that is the same as Baal sacrifice. They have different gods. Oh, and God condemns those kind of practice. The sacrifice of babies before their gods. God says that is an abomination before me. He told the nation Israel, the reason why I'm going to get these people out of this land and replace you, you are my holy people, because they practice abomination before the Lord. Do you know that there are abominations until today? You know what is the one that is said repeatedly in the Bible? Because there are so many kinds of sins, but some sins are not called abominations. They're all sins, but abominations are not terrible sins. Human sacrifice, sacrificing your precious baby. And that's why they say when they make human sacrifices, they first make a big, loud drumming. So loud. Because they will put this baby in the arms of Baal. And Baal's arms is red hot. They heated it so hot. And they put the baby on the arms of their god Baal. And you know, the scream of the baby or the child. So to drum it, they beat the drums. And God said, if we practice that, I'm going to overthrow you just like what I did to them. He warned the nation Israel. And these tyrant people, they practice that. That's a common practice today. Oh, but there's another one that the reason why God punished these people, because in the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 6, these people, the tyrant, they sold the Jews to the Greeks as slaves. And the people of Judah and Jerusalem, you have sold to the Greeks in order to remove them far from their territory. Ooh, you mess with the Jews, the people of God, and you will be judged. Before, until today. Talks about abomination, almost forgot. You know what is the common abomination today that's still practiced? We still see people practicing babies? No. Okay. In jail, just by saying that, you may end up in jail. Oh, but you know what is an abomination repeated many times in the Old Testament? Homosexuality is an abomination. You know that? Homosexuality, marriage between man and man, woman and woman, is an abomination. The gravity of that sin is the same as human sacrifice, because not all sins are called. And yet there are churches today who calls homosexuality what? As a gift from God. What in the world happening? And yet, today you get serious trouble. If you say that on the pulpit, now I said it in the pulpit, you'll be in trouble. But that's what the Bible says. I didn't say that, the Bible says that. And that's why the city of Tyre was judged. So severely that God says, you will never be a city again. I will make you what? Instead of a merchant place full of trade, no, I'm going to make you a fishing village. You go there and you see people throwing nets. You see people there fishing with nets. Exactly what the Bible says. 2,500, 2,600 years ago. Now, who can predict that in detail? It was never rebuilt again. Never rebuilt again. Ooh. That's why this Bible, you can never convince me that it's not true. Because, like Dr. McGee said, no one can make those prophecies happen exactly in detail. You know what the law of probability is? The law of probability says like this. If you make a prophecy, let's say, it's going to rain tomorrow. You have 50-50 chance, according to the law of probability. You have 50-50 chance that will happen. It will rain tomorrow. But if I would say it will rain exactly at 12 o'clock, I'm not making two predictions. Not only it's going to rain, but I know when it's going to stop. My chance is cut by another 50%. I only have 25% making that happen. But if I will also add one more, it will stop at exactly 3 in the afternoon. I'm making now 3 prophecies. It will rain, it will start at 12, it will stop at 3. I cut another 50% of my chance. I only have 12.5% making that happen. And if I add one more thing, when 3 o'clock happens, Brother Fidel will come here to try to fix the roof that is leaking. That is the more you add to a prophecy, the less it's going to happen. And a prophecy like this one, the chance of it happening is next to impossible. Because there's so much detail. So much detail. That if you apply the law of probability, it's just like saying it's not going to happen. But it happened exactly the way it says, in exact detail. So you're going to tell me what? Professor so-and-so, you're going to tell me this is a baloney book? You are a baloney man. So, We have now the judgment of the Edomites. Maybe I can end only with this one. The city of Petra. How many of you know the city of Petra? Sister Mila knows the city of Petra. I'd like to go see the city of Petra. Because one of those majestic city of the ancient time. You see, Petra, for almost 5 centuries, was hidden in the outside world until its rediscovery by a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt in 1812. That's why it's called the Lost City. It was built around 400 BC and it lasted until AD 106. It's built by the people called the Nabatean Empire. Actually, they are the descendants of Edom. Since the sons of Edom. They are you can call them the Jordanians today. And the city of Petra they built, carved out of the rocks. And it is at the middle of the crossroad. That's why they control that trade routes, because there is a water supply in that area called the Wadi Musa. It was a bustling city, southern desert of Jordan, and 1500 years ago it existed. Over the next century, the people of Petra slowly abandoned their pagan gods and their religion until it was completely abandoned. But you know, the prophecy is that this city, I like to read it in Isaiah 34, God will judge this city, and it has to do with the treatment of the Edomites, or the brother, you know, they have 2 brothers, right? Jacob and Esau. The Edomites are the descendants of Esau. But in Isaiah 34, God made a pronouncement on this city of the Edomites, rather. It says in verse 5, "For my sword is set yet in heaven. Behold, it shall descend for judgment upon Edom, and upon the people whom I have devoted to destruction." It says in verse 9, "Its streams will be turned into pits, and its loose earth into branches. Its land will become burning pits. It will not be quenched night or day. Its smoke will go up forever. From generation to generation it will be desolate. None, notice it, none will pass through it forever and ever." That's why Petra was abandoned. No longer people pass there. They changed the trade route, the caravan route. No longer in Petra. All their business disappeared. And notice what God says. Oh, they talk about their beautiful buildings. That's why many people go there to Petra to see the city of Petra. But it's a dead city. But God says, during the height of its splendor, God says, "But the pelicans," these are birds, "and the hedgehog will possess it." You go over there, and who's living in those palaces? Birds, jackals, wild dogs, wild goats. "And the owl and the raven will dwell in it." Who used to be rich people, princes. "And he will spread over it a line of desolation and a plumb line of emptiness. Its nobles, there is no one there whom they may proclaim king, and all its princes will be nothing. Thorns will come upon its fortified towers, nettles and thistles to its fortified cities. It will also be a haunt of jackals and the abode of ostriches." Wow. That's what God says. Oh, but that's not what Petra before. They're so powerful, so rich. Today, even God says, your arena will be an arena for goats, and you go there to their arena, oh, goats are jumping up and down in their arena. You look at the building, oh, there's a nest of ostrich up there. Exactly what the Bible says. So you're going to tell me that the Bible is not true? That is just a work of fiction? That is why many of our young people are not told that. Somebody said, oh, those Bible just campfire stories. Now we'll go to the Babylonians. The Babylonians was prophesied to be what? Destroyed by God. Notice Jeremiah chapter 50 regarding the Babylonians. He says, oh, this is what the Lord said concerning Babylon. That happened before, long time before Babylon was destroyed. This is what the Lord said concerning Babylon. Who said? The Lord said. And the land of Babylonians through the prophet Jeremiah. This is what the Lord says to them. Tell the nations, proclaim it far and wide. Set up a flag. Proclaim it far and wide. Hold nothing back. Just shout it. That's why I'm shouting it. That's what God told Jeremiah. Babylon is captured. Bel is shamed. Marduk is panic-stricken. And that's their God. Their God is Marduk. Her images are shamed. Her idols are panic-stricken. Oh, that's what God says. Oh, but that time, the hanging garbage of Babylon, the glory of Babylon. Okay, a nation from the north. Oh, nation from the north. Not going to be south, not east. But God says it's going to be from the north. A nation from the north has risen up against her. It will decimate her land, and no one will live in it. Every living thing will flee. In those days and at that time, declares the Lord, the people of Israel and Judah will come out of Babylon together with weeping. They will leave as they seek the Lord their God. They will search for Zion, for their faces toward it. They will come and unite with the Lord in an everlasting covenant that will never be forgotten. My people were lost sheep. Their shepherd led them astray. What? In times of the captivity, who led the people of God astray? Oh, their leaders. That's what's happening in Christianity today. The pastors, the churches, who are leading the people of God astray because they don't believe in the Bible anymore. Okay? My people were lost sheep. Their shepherd led them. They deserted them on the mountains. They were wandered off among the hills, forgetting their resting place. All who found them devoured them, and their attackers said, it's not our fault, because they have sinned against the Lord, the true pasture, the hopes of their ancestors, the Lord. Now wander far from Babylon. Get out of that country. Like rams of the flock, lead them the way home. I'm stirring up against the Babylonian, a coalition of mighty nations. I will mobilize in the north, and from there she will be captured. Their arrows are like those of an expert archer who does not return empty-handed. Babylon will be defeated. Its attackers will carry off all that they want, declares the Lord. Do you know how big Babylon is? It's so big that they don't have to worry about being taken seized. They can plant inside their walls and survive normal life. Nobody can defeat them. That's why they thought they are the most secure kingdom at the time. But God said, no, I'm going to prepare somebody that will defeat these Babylonians. You know, that's exactly what happened. Who defeated the Babylonians? In October 539 BC, the Persian king Cyrus took Babylon, the ancient capital of an Oriental empire. Who's Cyrus? Oh, you go back to history, Cyrus is a Persian king. But he was responsible for uniting the Lydian Empire and the Persian Empire together. Became a Persian Empire. And in 539 BC, the fall of Babylon conquered Persia, Cyrus of Persia. And the Jews returned 539 BC. Cyrus the Great conquers Babylon, a fertile question. But it was not completely destroyed until 485 by the king of the name of Xerxes, king of Persia. It says here, the fall of Babylon denotes the end of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. after it was conquered by the Achaemenid Empire in 539. The point is this, that God says He will make an end of Babylon, never to be rebuilt again. And that's exactly what they had. You know what Saddam Hussein said? Because he made a lot of money. He's going to rebuild Babylon. What happened to him? God says it will never be rebuilt. Now, of course, there are many Babylons, but the original Babylon, the one that was prophesied here, is all covered by the sand. And God says, what? I will make Babylon the house of jackals. That's what you'll find there. The ruins of Babylon are protruding on the sand. Jackals living there. Oh, gone are the princes and the mighty warriors. God said, I'm going to make an end. It happened exactly like this. Bible will not make a mistake. One thing about this Bible has something to do with you too. What it says about you and I is also going to happen. But I'll make with this closing thing the ultimate of God's prophecy. God made so many prophecies, okay? But we would say the greatest of them is the prophecy about Israel. You know what God says about Israel? He told Abraham, the man who was the first that God called to become part of the nation Israel. You know what God says in chapter 12? The Lord said to Abraham, go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show. I will make you a great nation. You know what is that great nation? That, Israel. And I will bless you and make your name great. Now here's a promise. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you, I will curse. There are teachings today that some Christians believe that God is finished with Israel. No more Israel. God is through with them. He's now focusing on us. That's not what Paul says. You know what Paul says in Romans? In Romans chapter 11, verse 1 to 2. I say then, has God cast away His people? Sure. Certainly not. For I am also an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God has not cast away His people, whom He foreknew. Hardening in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. And so all Israel will be saved. As it is written, the deliverer will come out of Zion. Zion is Israel. And He will turn away ungodliness from Jacob. That's Israel. For this is my covenant with them when I take away their sins. Israel was promised an everlasting kingdom. They will continue to be a nation. Romans, in fact, when it comes to the gospel, it says, Romans chapter 1, verse 16, Paul says, I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. Everyone who believes. To the Jew first, you underline that, and also to the Greek. Psalm 122 says, may they prosper who love you. May they prosper who love you. Who? Those who love Jerusalem. It says that, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And verse 16, may they prosper who love you. You look into history, the people who oppressed Israel as a nation. Where are they today? Have you seen the Assyrians? When was the last time you met an Assyrian? Oh, but they are a great mighty empire during the time of the kings. I met one Assyrian when I was working there in San Jose. Oh, there's a small community. I didn't even know they exist. He said, I'm not Syrian. My king is King Sargon. That's in the Bible. Oh, but the Jews are there. Israel is there. In fact, there was a great trouble when our president moved the capital to what? He moved the capital of Israel from what? Oh, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Jerusalem was not a capital for so many centuries. Many presidents promised to make Jerusalem capital of Israel. They will fail because they cannot stand the pressure. Trump said, "You vote me, I'll move it." He did. Budget was over like 1.5 billion. He spent only 500,000. That's a lot of savings. I'm telling you that God protects that place. That's why we have this what they call anti-Semitism. Has to do with Islam. When an old evangelist during the time of Peter the Great in Russia was preaching about the gospel, he was asked, "What makes you sure that your teachings about the Bible is true? What makes you sure about that book is true?" You know what he said? Look at the Jew. Because this book is a book of Jews. The Jew is there. The prophecies of God regarding these people is still true to them. That's why I really believe that if you love Israel, God will bless you. Do you know the empires who abandoned Israel? They are no longer superpowers today. Used to be that England dominates the world. Like they say, what? The sun never sets on the British Empire. Is the British Empire the way it was before? No. Because there was a time when they are the protector of the Jews, later abandoned them. And you know what did God say to Abraham? They that bless you, I will bless. And they that curse you, I will curse. What did God say, Ezekiel? I will come to protect that land. I will come to protect that people. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It's all in the Bible. It's all in the Bible. The prophecy of God is coming true. The return of the Jews happened in 1948, and they're still returning. After like 2,000 years of not having a land of their own, they have returned. Exactly what the Bible says. They will return someday. They have returned. And the Bible says they will be the thorn in the flesh of the whole world. That nation, that tiny nation, will be a trouble of the whole world. Isn't that the trouble in the United Nations? Israel, they don't know what to do with it. Oh, but as long as America is led by people who believe in God and the Bible, America will be the protector of Israel. Oh, might not be long, because many are now believing they're not people of God anymore. But the Bible will not change. God sent us a Savior. He's not Ilocano. He's not Chinese. He's not English. He was a Jew. Exactly what God promised Abraham. I will bless the whole world through your seed. We're here this morning because there was a Jew who walked that land. His name is Jesus. And he's coming back to protect that land. Are you waiting for him? Is this church standing for Jesus and the Bible? Let us pray. Father, Lord, we thank you that your words are settled in the heavens. Jesus says heaven and earth will pass away, but his word will not pass away. He was the one who inspired the Bible cover to cover. We call the Bible the Word of God. We believe that he will fill the rest of the prophecies regarding the nation Israel. And we thank you, Lord God, because you have made us part of that promises that you made to Abraham through the Lord Jesus Christ. And we're here because of him. May you bless your people, this church, and especially those who will go out there facing people who try to mock and laugh at this book. But this book is guarded by the Word of God and by the Spirit of God.
Amen.
Bless your people, we pray in Jesus' name.